Hey everybody, here we are, day 23. It's amazing when I first started this whole thing, right? Like, on the first day or the couple days leading up to the first day, it was like mind-boggling how 33 days was going to be like forever, Like, oh my gosh, how is this, especially after doing the first couple of videos and stuff. I was like, my gosh, this is a long road ahead of me, and I'm realizing now that there's only 10 days left, 9 days after today, and I'm like, oh no, like what am I gonna do? Like I'm gonna miss all of you. I'm gonna miss doing these and stuff. But anyway, I mean, it's not, we have to understand that there's impermanence in everything, right? And that's a huge lesson for all of us to embrace. But really, I just wanted to say that I'm just so excited for having gone through all this, and we still got a little bit of time left, but it feels so close to the end that it's like, my gosh, like I'm just, I have like a calendar set up in my office here, which I can't film in my office. The lighting's terrible and the background, it's in the laundry room, my office. But I have this whole, poster board with post-its all over in a big grid, and it's like I'm down to almost the last row now. It's crazy. I just can't believe how quickly it's gone, But anyway, I'm just so excited and I'm so thrilled, and I really hope that some of you or all of you are really doing the practices, and because again, I've said this a million times over the last 23 days, that if you are doing these practices, if you're embracing the process of doing these practices, and I mean, I want to say you got to do them all, but you really don't. I mean, even if you're doing some of them, whatever you're doing, if you're doing it with regularity and you're doing it, maybe not even every day, but with some kind of regularity and with an emotional, sort of investment, then I know, not I think, but I know that there's going to be shifts happening in you that are really, really important and really beneficial. So to that point, even if you've lost your way and you haven't gotten to do these things, these videos are going to be here forever for you. Okay, I've made that commitment. No matter what happens, you all are, you have these videos and these lessons and everything forever. Okay, and so even if you've lost your way, go ahead and maybe a couple of months down the line or something, you want to try to do it again, do it, okay? Because it's really, really worth it. I promise you, okay? You will not be sorry at the end. I promise you that, okay? So today, I have one of my favorite exciting practices. This is probably right there with the Facebook project that I assigned all of you, and I hope you've been doing it. I mean, I don't see all of your posts and stuff. I know my wife posted a few, and again, this is the kind of thing where, just because it didn't inspire you and you didn't do it this time doesn't mean you can't go back to it in a few weeks, couple months, whatever, and try it then, and all these things will help you greatly, okay? I promise. But today is one that you're going to really love, and this is going to help you in, so many areas of your life, literally every single area of your life, okay? This practice is going to help you. And what it is the practice of active listening, okay? In the email below, you have a link to a PDF, or I think I'm going to download it as an actual PDF download. So you have that, download it to computer, print it out, put it on your wall, put it on your refrigerator. Practice this as much as you can with people, okay? You can practice it kind of formally and informally. As you get good at it, you can just sort of do this all the time, which is then where that's the magic that happens. But really try to find someone who you can practice this with at least a few times a week, if not every day, for a few weeks, to get into the habit of doing this. I am telling you, there is almost nothing more powerful than active listening in terms of your relationships, in terms of your, any interpersonal, action that you have in your life is going to benefit if from the habit of active listening. Okay, so the practice goes as follows, okay? Find someone, and by the way, when I say find someone to do this with, I mean your spouse or your significant other or a close friend is a great person to do this with, but obviously there's some single people out there, and that's cool, so you don't need to find someone necessarily in your family. It could be a coworker, it could just be anyone, and if you can't find someone, right, you have me, okay? And we can do it on video chat like this, okay? Or you can find someone else in this community to do it with, okay? And I would be more than happy to do it with you myself. My schedule is a little bit full, but I can certainly squeeze in some time to help you, okay? And so make sure that you're really as much as it is possible, seek out someone with whom you can do this practice, okay? It's only going to take a few minutes a day, and it's going to be so worth it for both of you, okay? And that's why I'm volunteering to do it, because there's no such thing as too much practice with this stuff. So if I have to, if I could get into a couple times a week of meeting with you and doing an active listening practice with you, I'd be more than happy to. Okay, so the way the practice goes is this. Okay, so you find someone who you can work with. Okay, and essentially you're going to set a timer. Okay, take your phone, put it in the middle of the table, set a timer for 3 minutes. Okay. And so the way it works is you have person A and person B, right? So person A speaks first, right? Now I would always allow you to speak first, and be generous with this, all right? And pardon me. So person A has 3 minutes to speak, right? So person B's job in those 3 minutes is to just listen. Now, so many times when we're, in our lives, when we're listening to someone speak, what we're really doing is we're not really listening to understand what they're saying. What we're doing is we're listening until they stop talking and we can make our point that we want to, comment on whatever they're saying. And this is not your fault, right? This is not any of our fault. This is how, how just society has bred us to be. Last year I was at my folks' house in Long Island, and they're big Fox News people, and I was astonished watching this show on Fox News, and it's not the only time. I mean, I used to listen to it on sports radio, but and any kind of even liberal TV like CNN and MSNBC, if you watch these sort of, people on these panels talking, nobody's listening to each other. Nobody's letting each other finish their thoughts. They're just talking over each other. Rah, 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 rah. So there's no question, there's no surprise rather why we would do that too, right? So what we're doing with this practice is we're breaking that habit, okay? So the idea again is person A has 3 minutes to speak. Person B, the job is to listen to understand, okay? And to actively listen to every single thing the person is saying, right? And to when I say actively listening, what that means is not thinking in your head like, okay, yeah, I'm going to say this when she stops talking. I'm going to, she should think about this part. No, none of that. Just listen. Just really actively listen to everything they're saying for 3 minutes, okay? During that time, person B is not to make comments, is not to interrupt, and is also not to even make comments that are supportive and that are going to guide the conversation. Because again, if you say something like, yeah, that's interesting, then person A is going to be like, oh, wow, he thought that was interesting, so let me continue with that, when what I really wanted to say was this, so really you got to let person A dictate the flow of the conversation, okay? That's a really, really crucial part of this, okay? So you spend 3 minutes allowing that person, you're giving them that space. Now, that in and of itself is a huge habit that you're going to develop, right? Because as it's a very generous thing to give someone our presence. In fact, it's probably the most precious gift we can ever give to anyone is our presence and our attention, right? And so if when you start giving that to everyone in your life, people will notice, okay? I promise you, people will notice, and they will respond very, very positively, whether that's coworkers, that's family members, or that's your children, okay? Seriously, like they're going to really respond well to that, and you're going to reap the benefits of that as well, okay? So, sorry to digress. So for the 3 minutes, person A gets to talk about whatever they want to talk about. Person B, the only thing I want you to be able to say at that point is things like mm-hmm or okay, or just maybe nodding your head a little bit, just to let the other person know that you're listening, right? Like, but nothing that would sort of sway the conversation. And listen, don't worry if you don't get it right the first time, okay? Like understand this is a practice, and you're gonna get better at it, and these things are gonna be easier as you go on, okay? So, but the 3 minutes is sacrosanct, okay? That is the other person's 3 minutes. minutes, okay? And in fact, if the other person runs out of things to say, you just let her or him sit there silently, okay? And just be present with them and let them just sit there until something else comes up to talk about, okay? So literally, it's 3 minutes are blocked out. It belongs to person A. When they're finished talking, okay, or when the timer goes off, rather, right? In 3 minutes, the timer buzzes. Then you know the person A, you know the sort of formal structure of this thing would be for the person A to say, "Hey, thanks for listening to me. Thanks for giving me that time. I really appreciate it." And then person B says, "Thank you for sharing all that. I would like to repeat back to you what I heard to make sure I got it right." Okay, and this is, so the first part of the practice is active listening. The second part is looping, okay? And that's when you're going to loop back to the person and say, okay, I heard you say this over the course of the 3 minutes. Right now, you don't have to repeat it word for word. That's not the essence of this. What you're really trying to do is just show the person that you truly understood the meaning behind what they were saying, okay? So it's if you want to call that paraphrasing, you want to call it the idea is that you're digesting it and then looping it back to them. Okay, so it's not about remembering every single thing they say. You're not writing it down. You're not. You're just proving to the person that you heard them. Okay, and the objective here is for that person to have felt heard. Okay, and so you repeat back what you heard, right, and then. And then the person A has then the opportunity to say, well, yes, you heard all those things, but you missed this one thing that I said, or you missed these two things, or you missed all this stuff, whatever. Go again, right? Then person A has a chance to go again, and you listen again. Person B listens again until, keep repeating it until you really get everything that they were talking about, okay? And then at the end of that, once you have successfully, sort of repeated back the essence of what the other person is saying, then you switch sides. Okay, and then you get 3 minutes, the other person listens to you. Now, and typically the beautiful thing to do at the end is for person A, once they really do feel that they've been heard, is to say that, right? Say, thank you, I feel heard. Okay, because it's, just reminding ourselves that we feel that way is such a new and exciting thing for most people. So go ahead and say it, celebrate it, right? Now, while this is going on, okay, there's another aspect of this practice, and you're going to see it in the instructions. It's called dipping, okay? So the idea, and this is how we're going to cultivate another level of self-awareness and mindfulness, okay? And it's going to lead us into tomorrow's topic, which is mindful conversation. Right? And so the idea is to, sort of dip into your body. Like, how is this conversation making you feel? What emotions are arising from this conversation, right? Are you feeling happy and expansive? Are you feeling tense and getting hot? What are you feeling, right? And just be present with that. Now, a lot of people will say, well, how can I be paying attention to what the person's saying and also be focusing on my feelings? And that's a great question. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to think of it like peripheral vision. Okay, you just want to sort of, constantly be sort of like aware of what's going on, even while you're actively listening to the person. It is possible. Okay, now again, this is not something that's going to be very easy the first few times you do it. Okay, so I would suggest, maybe not even worrying about the dipping part for the first few times. Just get into the habit of doing the active listening, and then slowly, develop the dipping part. Okay, and again, this is going to lead us into tomorrow's topic, which is mindful conversation. Okay, and I'll save that for tomorrow because this video is already getting long. It's getting really long. So anyway, so you're just gonna go back and forth, 3 minutes each, plus maybe some repeat time. I mean, you're out of here in 10 minutes. Okay, so if you can block out 10 minutes to 15 minutes every evening, to do this with a friend, a coworker, a spouse, your children, whoever, me, like call me if you don't have anybody else. Seriously, I would love to do this with you, okay? And you'll be amazed at the difference that this makes, not only in your relationships with these people or with me, but also it's just in the way that you then become, again, this is another skill, okay? Active listening is a skill. It's not an innate talent. Now, some people have more, natural tendencies towards it than others, but it's not an innate talent. It is a skill. And like any other skill, it can be practiced and developed. And that's what we're looking to do. And believe me, this is going to help you on job interviews. This is going to help you in, in your work, in your play, in, dealing with somebody at the DMV, like it's going to help you everywhere in your life. So this is a very, very important part of what we're doing here. And how it relates to compassion is that, again, you are giving someone this gift of your attention, and that is a precious gift that we can all afford to give to people, but yet we seldomly do. And so it is a very much an act of compassion to do this. And by engaging in that act of compassion, remember all the brain science, right? You're integrating parts of your brain that are not necessarily integrated now, and that's going to give you a better sense of well-being all the time. Okay, so there's no downside to this. So do the practice, all right? And even if you haven't done any of the other practices here, do this one. It's going to be hugely valuable for you, I promise. All right, so that's it. Long video today. Apologize, but it's all written down too. So I'll talk to you later, and I'll be back tomorrow to take this concept like sort of one step further and talk about how we can be mindful in all of our conversations. All right, which is partially active listening, but goes beyond that as well. So I look forward to sharing that with you tomorrow. And I wish you well, everybody. I'll talk to you later. Have a good day. Bye-bye. And keep practicing.